Vin Diesel. What if the strongest man in the room was actually carrying the deepest pain? The world knows Vin Diesel as a symbol of power, loyalty, and control. But very few know the hidden battles, heartbreak, and scars that shaped him long before Hollywood ever noticed his name. Some men are shaped by success. Others are shaped by scars. Vin Diesel became famous around the world as a man of strength. But behind the strong image was a person carrying pain, loss, and questions that never fully left him. In his later years, he often spoke about loyalty, family, and holding on through difficult days. These were not just lines from his movies. They came from real wounds that shaped his life long before Hollywood knew his name. He learned early that fame does not heal everything. It can hide the hurt, but it cannot erase it. Millions saw the action star, but very few knew about the silent battles that built him from the inside. But his story didn't begin in Hollywood. It began in darkness. Before the world knew him as Vin Diesel, he was just a boy named Mark Sinclair, growing up without a father and without a clear sense of who he was. His mother tried her best, but money was short, and the absence of a father left a deep mark on him. He often felt like he didn't fit anywhere. Not in the neighborhood, not in school, and not in his own identity. That loneliness slowly turned into anger, and survival became his only focus in the rough streets of New York. Then, by accident, he discovered theater. And for the first time, he found a place where he could express his pain instead of fighting it. But the world outside the stage was waiting to break him again. When every door stayed shut, he built his own. Vin tried again and again to enter Hollywood, but directors didn't know how to place him. Some said he didn't look white enough. Others said he didn't look black enough. He was judged before he was even allowed to speak. To survive, he worked as a nightclub bouncer at night, facing fights, long shifts, and no sleep. Still, he did not let go of his dream. Tired of waiting for a chance, he decided to create one himself. He wrote and acted in a short film called Multifacial, a story that reflected his own struggle. He made it with almost no money, but it carried truth. That truth changed everything. The film reached Cannes, and from there, Steven Spielberg noticed him and offered him a role in Saving Private Ryan. For the first time, the world saw the talent he always knew he had. But success came with a price he never saw coming. The higher he climbed, the heavier the crown became. Fast and Furious turned him into a global star, but the pressure around him kept growing. The schedule was non-stop, and the demands were endless. He worked day and night, always pushing, always carrying the weight of a billion-dollar franchise. During this rise, he met Paul Walker, and their bond became real, not just on screen. Paul's calm nature balanced Vin's intensity, and they became close like brothers. But as the franchise grew, so did the pressure, the stress, and the cracks in Vin's life. Then came the loss that shattered him forever. Even engines stop when the heart breaks. When Paul Walker died, Vin lost more than a co-star. He lost a brother who brought balance and peace into his life. The news crushed him, and for a long time, he could not accept it. He returned to the set, but inside, he was empty. He tried to stay strong for the world, but when the cameras turned off, the silence was heavy. Years of action roles and painful stunts had already damaged his body. Now, grief began to damage his spirit. His shoulders, knees, and back carried old injuries, and each year the pain grew. Behind the fame, he often felt alone, tired, and worn down. But he refused to give up, because loyalty was his promise, especially to the people he loved. But from the ashes of heartbreak, he made a promise, one that would define everything